At 3:42 a.m. on July 28, 1976, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake hits the city of Tangshan in the province of Hebei, located in northern China. In just 23 seconds, 85% of all buildings collapsed due to the shock, all roads to the city were destroyed, and at least 300,000 people were killed. The film is called Aftershock, directed by Feng Xiaogang, a famous Chinese movie director. The movie was a box office success in China and won multiple awards in Asian cinemas. Aftershock is not based on a true story, but is inspired by survivors of the Tangshan earthquake. I really enjoy this film because the narrative of the story takes a deep dive at the lives of survivors years after the disaster and how difficult it was for them to piece together their life. However, the big picture of the film is the director's stance on a major stereotype in Chinese society. The story of Aftershock follows the family of Li Yuanni and her husband Fang Daqiang with their twin children. The son is called Fang Da and the daughter is called Fang Deng. When the earthquake struck Tangshan, the shock would trap the twins in their apartment complex, and the father would rush into the collapsing building. The aftermath shows the husband killed by falling debris and the twins trapped under a large concrete block. The first responders tell Li Yuanni that lifting one side of the block to save one of her children would unfortunately crush the other to death. Heartbroken, she chooses her son, Fang Da. After some time passes, by some miracle, first responders were able to recover the daughter's body, and she regains consciousness. As some time has passed since the earthquake, Fang Deng, now an orphan, was adopted by a military couple, and Fang Da lost his left arm. The film would follow the lives of the twins and their mother as they try to cope with the mental trauma of surviving the deadliest earthquake in modern Chinese history. My opinions about Aftershock is that it's a powerful human story that explores the lives of people after the tragedy. They struggle with love, selfishness, identity, tradition, and all of it can be traced back to their experience of the Tangshan earthquake. By far the biggest strength of the film was the two leading female actresses' chemistry with supporting actors and each other. I just want to shout out the amazing performance of Zhang Jingchu's portrayal of Fang Deng, the daughter in the film. She is such a convincing and interesting character in the story. She is constantly reminded by her adoptive parents to find her real family. But the reason why she has always been discouraged from finding them is because she thought her mother abandoned her. When she was trapped under the fallen debris, the only words she heard from her mother was choosing to sacrifice her to save her brother. The mother, Li Yuanni, played by Fang Shu, was the heart and soul of the movie. She absolutely nailed her emotional scenes, and her performance really made you sympathize for her character. The movie is also historically accurate in portraying the deadliest earthquake in modern Chinese history. The reason why during the aftermath of the earthquake people in the streets were naked or were wearing very little was because when the earthquake hit Tangshan, it was right in the middle of Chinese summer. I know that's somewhat of a minor detail, but to me it shows the director is faithful to the history and to the story told by real-life accounts. I know I've been praising the film a lot, but there are some flaws to the story. The pacing of the movie can create confusion with the timeline, and in some segments, only show the story of one character and ignores the other. Also, I don't quite understand why the director did this, but some of the build-up to an important confrontational scene had an extremely anticlimactic resolution. For example, the reunion of the brother and sister who have not seen each other for over 30 years went like this.
32年，老太太心里都守着这些废墟过日子。姐，方等，前面那路口原来都是咱家。
I definitely think this was a missed opportunity by the director. There was so much storyline buildup and character development between the two characters. Like, I really wanted them to embrace and share their stories. So much of the human emotion was removed when the director decided to not show the heartwarming reunion between the two. Overall, I really love this film because it not only explores the theme of a disaster story, but it tackles the stereotype of Chinese culture and tradition. The family culture of prioritizing sons over daughters. In the beginning of the film, the mother would favor the needs of her son over her daughter, and during the pivotal scene chose him over her. To some viewers, this might just be reinforcing the cultural stereotype and the tradition of families in China, overvaluing boys over girls. But to me, the story tackles this outdated stereotype by showing the mother being haunted and regretful of her decision. Showing the human emotion and trauma of losing one of her children shows that regardless of the gender, it's still one of her children. You shouldn't let the actions of the loud minority define the tradition of an entire country. Also, it's pretty clear that the two leading female actresses carried the movie. Their performances sold me on how amazing the story is. Even if you remove some of the male actors from the story, the movie would still be a must-watch solely on the performance of those female actresses. The ending scene of the film shows a survivor visiting the Tangshan earthquake memorial wall to pay respect to his fallen family members. The story as a whole feels realistic, the characters' motives are logical, the emotions are genuine, and the story is faithful to the story and the people. My closing remarks are, please watch Aftershock, and while you're watching it, make sure to have some tissues on the side, because as you can tell, it's a tearjerker. If you want an amazing story about how strong the human spirit can be after experiencing a terrible event with sophisticated characters, then I can't recommend Aftershock enough to you. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Also, check out my other Chinese film recommendation videos if you want to see more.